Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for coming to see me. I hope to hear some new ideas that can make us some money.
Thank you so much for meeting with us, Mr. K.
Yeah, we have some really groundbreaking ideas. Prepare for a vision like no other.
Good. I expect to hear some ideas that will blow my ears off. Let's hear it.
Our ideas revolve around a bunch of brand new superheroes who fight in the same universe together.
Our first hero is a hammer-wielding god who gets his powers from the ocean, and with that hammer, he fights off evil from the land of Canada.
Plus, his body's always hurting, so therefore we thought we'd call him Sore.
No. Get out of my office. You're saying?
All right, a little bland. We get it. Let's move on to the next one.
Our next one is about a brave American soldier fighting in the Revolutionary War, but he drinks a potion to get super strong.
And then he's asleep for 200 years when he wakes up in the present days. And we're gonna call this one General America.
Guys, this just sounds like Captain America.
No, it's General America. See, we even made a mock-up for you. I mean, I know you didn't ask for one, but we've been working so hard on it. Want to show them that, Jake?
Yeah, right.
You guys have got to be joking.
Well, that's not even our best idea. Wait till you hear this.
Our next idea is about a princess, a fierce one, and she lives in the Hudson River Valley, and she leaves to fight with man in World War I.
Wait, what?
Yep, and we like to call her Wonderful Woman.
Now you guys are just deviating completely, crossing over from Marvel to DC, and you're not even showing any effort with Wonderful Woman. Come on. Get out, you're fired. Get out.
Okay, it's a work in progress, but we've got one more idea for you.
Fine. Let's just get it over with, because I have to find replacements for you two knuckleheads after this.
Just trust us on this one, okay? So, Dr. Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, his life changes after a car accident robs him of the use of his hands. When traditional medicine fails him, he looks for healing and hope in a mysterious enclave. He quickly learns that the enclave is at the front line of a battle against unseen dark forces bent on destroying reality. And ready? Before long, Strange is forced to choose between his life of fortune and status, or leave it all behind to defend the world as the most powerful sorcerer in existence. Think of that.
How about them apples?
What do I think? I think you two are the dumbest employees I've ever met. You guys ripped off Marvel and DC, and then you just printed out IMDb pages for Doctor Strange and used them as your own ideas. If you guys don't come up with an original idea, I'm gonna have to fire you.
That's all the ideas we have.
Well, what about that one?
No, wait.
I don't think you like that one.
Yahoo!
I love it. This is gold, gentlemen. Gold! I don't know how you guys came up with this, but this is gonna be the next big blockbuster.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Well, he liked that, and we hope you like this episode of The Middle Seats. We're talking about the highly anticipated Marvel film Doctor Strange. Plus, it's all Marvel. We're going to be talking about what has made the Marvel movies so successful. It's brand new Middle Seats, and it starts.
Senor Trump.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Auger.
And I'm Jay Kensler.
The Middle Seats is the longest-running entertainment show in the history of Marist College, and we're here back with you on another Thursday. We're going to talk some Marvel today.
Yes, we are.
We're usually in the business of...
Speaking of the devil.
Yes, my lovely girlfriend got me this tie.
Great tie.
And it didn't chroma, so I was allowed to wear it. We're usually in the business of avoiding Marvel.
Yeah, or at least trying.
Because it's something that we're so dear to us, and we try to cover all of film on this show. But, tonight we get to indulge, because we're talking about Doctor Strange, and we're talking about, what makes the Marvel Universe what they are? Who are the people that make it possible that we have what people are calling this generation Star Wars?
Both on and off screen.
Yeah.
We have plenty to talk about.
How was your Halloween?
It was fine. I didn't think I did much, but it was fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a Monday. What did you do with the day after Halloween?
I don't know.
Trick question. Nothing.
That's not funny. Anyway, so before we are immersed into the mystic wonder of Doctor Strange, let's talk about our news for this week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This was a light week in film news, therefore we only have a top 4 for you. And here they are.
Leading off our stories is a potential portrayal of one of the greatest frontmen of all time. The legendary Freddie Mercury of the great rock band Queen died November of 1991 at the age of 45. But a biopic that has been in the works for some time now is starting to get some traction. Rami Malek, star of the hit show Mr. Robot, is in talks to star as Mercury, with Bryan Singer, who directed a few X-Men movies, as well as The Usual Suspects, might be directing. There is also a screenplay draft floating around in ecstasy from Anthony McCartan, who wrote The Theory of Everything. So there are a few parts finally getting rolling, despite many different filmmakers having creative differences over this project in the past. The film is nothing set in stone, other than its title of arguably their most famous song, Bohemian Rhapsody, but hopes to be singing We Are the Champions after its theater release, whenever that may be. Boy, what a story. I know it's been floating around for a while, but what?
What a story.
Well, first off, they rejected Fincher, who wanted to direct, and they rejected him. So that alone says they're very picky about this. So if they're willing to think about Bryan Singer and then Rami Malek, who I don't think he's done a whole lot other than Mr. Robot, they must, one, really like those choices, or just really want to finally get this going. But
see, the rumor that's been going around for years, and I thought it would have been perfect, especially when you look at it, Sacha Baron Cohen was in running for the longest time to play him. And
similar appearances.
Pretty much perfect casting. Yeah. I'm not really interested in this otherwise. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of would be, because I think Queen is just obvious. Everybody loves Queen, but I love Queen. Freddie Mercury is one of the great singers of all time. And Bryan Singer is a really good director when he has a good vision. So if he has good stuff for this, I would definitely want to go see this.
Bryan Singer's very hit and miss with me, though. Like in the X-Men movies, which he's a big part of.
Like X-Men Apocalypse was kind of down, but then Days of Future Past was great.
And X2 was great, and X-Men 1 was kind of like in the middle. And then you have the Jack the Giant Slayer and all those.
I didn't see that.
So we have to see. I don't see, like, he's not the kind of director that I think can elevate like bad material. I think he's a very good director with good material, though.
Yeah.
So the script has to be good and the performance has to be on. I haven't seen a lot of Malik's work, so
me neither.
It's hard to judge. It's hard to judge. I do want to start Mr. Robot soon, though. Anyway, let's move on to story number 3. Willy Wonka. The magical story about an entrepreneur with indentured servants who invites 5 random strange children to punish the ones and basically guilt trip the one left into taking his job. Okay, that may seem pretty dark, but this is a family class. Oh my god.
It's snowing, is a hurricane a-blowing. Not a speck of light is showing, so the danger must be growing.
Who made this? Anyway, have you ever wondered the origin of Willy Wonka? What's that? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory already told us he was the son of a dentist. Well, in a press junket for the upcoming Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Him, producer David Heyman alluded to the idea of the newest Wonka film being an origin story. Nothing confirmed yet, but contain your excitement, everyone. Another origin story. Okay. How many months until we find out that this is a darker and grittier version of Willy Wonka?
I think it depends who directs it, but I haven't seen Willy Wonka. I saw the Charlie one once, and I don't care to see it again.
You've never seen the original Willy Wonka?
No, I have. Just been a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It was one of those movies I saw a lot as a kid, but I haven't seen in a while. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Gene Wilder's performance is one of the greatest, like, for a family film of all time. Although I would debate if that's a family film. I mean, it is, but it's got that one scene.
As you alluded to.
Yeah.
Who would play him, I wonder?
I don't know, because I think this is a bad idea. I don't think this is a good idea at all. Why do we need... Willy Wonka is one of those characters that works better when we know less about him.
That's kind of true.
The whole thing is about like pure imagination and wonder and everything. And Charlie and Chocolate Factory's biggest downfall is letting us see who an actual person is. He's not supposed to be an actual person. He's supposed to be a myth. Charlie is the protagonist of that story. So what's interesting about us learning how he got his tax deductibles for the Chocolate Factory?
You know, that's true. I never thought of it that way.
They told us
That's a
like
really
where to
good
get the Oompa Loompas. It's Phantom Menace syndrome all over again.
That's very true. You should write a letter. Because you have some great points.
When are
there.
they ever going to listen? They're
That's
never
very
gonna
true.
listen. This is a problem. With
Even
everything.
the Batman rumor we heard is terrifying.
Willy Wonka resurgence, like Willy Wonka resurrection, whatever it's called.
Resurgence, Genesis.
Yeah,
Whatever
Genesis
it's
with a
gonna
Y.
be. Yeah.
I feel like we mentioned Genesis with a Y every week. Anyway, let's talk about story number 2.
Our number 2 news story has had so many sequels and spin-offs and time gaps that relate them all together that I think we all agree they could use a break. The X-Men universe first came to theaters in 2000 when the Rams won the Super Bowl and everyone thought Y2K would have the internet kill us all or something like that. Since then, the X-Men have been through 16 years of films, some TV shows, and a few distribution rights, and Fox is already planning a potential soft reboot. Sammy Kinberg, who is a frequent producer and writer on the franchise, is already working on a script in hopes that they can further characters from the X-Men Apocalypse storyline, but assuming the actors decide not to extend their already expired 3-picture deal and Fox can't pay them, we may be looking at an all-new X-Men franchise in the near future already. That being said, look for the final Hugh Jackman portrayal of Wolverine in Logan, set to be released this month.
Okay. Well, first off, is that a Cyclops rumor
never
for
gonna
Brad
happen. I
Pitt?
just saw it on the internet.
Please don't. Please cut that out.
Can you imagine?
Brad Pitt, you have so many better things to do.
He would never do it.
Like rekindle your marriage. Never mind. Anyway, that was terrible. But anyway, if Logan is the last one of this gigantic universe, which it looks like it's going to be, please give yourself some time I know you're going to reboot it eventually, but don't do it in like 2018. Please just give it time. Let us grow out and remember the characters like we wanted to, and then introduce us to new ones.
It's gonna be fatigue.
It's ridiculous.
We're gonna get fatigue. The reason the Marvel movies haven't gotten to fatigue, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, is because they're expanding.
Yeah,
we're learning, we're introducing new heroes. We're on film 12, and we met a new person.
Right.
The X-Men movies, they recycle the same heroes. How many times have we seen Wolverine's story over and over again? And you know that's their most bankable character, so they're gonna go right back to it.
Right.
Yeah. Let it rest for a while.
Give us, like, somebody was talking about making movies about like Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and Jean Grey, which, given the right cast and director, great. But don't reboot the original X-Men again. Like, Bryan Singer already got rid of that to do his own. Don't then redo it. It's just too much.
I sum it up with 3 things. Let X-Men rest.
Yep.
Focus on Deadpool.
Yes.
Fix Fantastic Four.
Great.
There's your job.
Yep.
Forget about X-Men for right now.
Yep.
Let it rest.
Yep.
Let's talk about our
Absolutely.
top story.
Let's talk some trailers. With the winter movie season comes some big previews for upcoming blockbusters that we may be looking forward to in the future. First, we got what may be our final look at what may be the best Batman movie of the decade, the Lego Batman movie.
Come catch your greatest enemy.
Superman is my greatest enemy.
Superman's not a bad guy.
Then I'd say that I don't currently have a bad guy. I am fighting a few different people.
Will Arnett, Zach Galifianakis, and Michael Cera headline an all-star voice cast when Lego Batman broods into theaters on February 10th. Sticking with DC properties, Gal Gadot steps into the center stage after her glorified cameo in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice with Wonder Woman.
It is our sacred duty to defend the world. And it's what I'm going to do.
Also starring Chris Pine, Wonder Woman lasts its way into theaters on June 2nd.
This might be the best Batman movie of the decade. 2010 to 2020, of course.
Right, yeah, I was going to say,
not
exclude
08 to
Dark
18.
Knight.
Yeah.
Exclude Dark Knight,
But like Dark
yes.
Knight Rises, good movie. But
See, I liked it a
Lego
lot,
movie
but-
was better, and these are the same people behind that. And Batman v Superman, we've talked about enough.
Yeah, Lego movie, Batman, at least Batman Lego movie, looks so good. Every trailer has made me laugh pretty damn hard.
And we revisit it too.
Yeah.
We keep revisiting the trailers, and they still make me laugh every time.
And I think it's great voice casting. We've talked about this before. Great voice casting. The script looks very clever. The animation looks gorgeous.
Actually, a pretty
looks
deep
great.
message. Can Batman actually have a family? Like, it's not something we've covered before.
Yeah, no,
I mean, and it
true.
fits the mold of the character and of a family film.
Yeah,
but
it looks really
switching gears a little
really
bit.
good.
I'm not going to allow myself to get excited for Wonder Woman.
No.
Even though the trailer looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Suicide Squad. You've ruined dreams everywhere.
Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. All three of them had amazing trailers.
For me, Batman v Superman.
Maybe not Batman v Superman,
yeah,
but
it was Batman v Superman was always kind of iffy and questionable for me. Suicide Squad looked great, and then it's just what happened.
It was one of the worst movies of the year, in my opinion.
So Wonder Woman, again, I think the trailers look pretty good, but like you said, I will not be fooled again.
If Snyder's hands are all over it, which apparently they are, I'm going to be wary until I have concrete evidence.
Do you want to talk
about final film.
Affleck's Batman rumor real quick?
Yeah, we can just mention it really quickly.
Yeah, so apparently there's a rumor floating around that Ben Affleck is helming the new Batman, we know. But apparently there's a rumor going around that someone talked to the writer of American Psycho, who talked to DC executives, correct?
Yeah.
That's what happened? And apparently, through the grapevine, that's why it's a rumor, someone read the script and said, there's some kinks in it, but we can work them out, make it better. And DC/Warner Brothers or whoever basically said, doesn't matter, we're going to make money anyway. And if that's true, then damn it, just sideline everything and start over in 5 years.
I mean, you can't be surprised. I'm sure meetings happen like this all the time. I bet meetings like that happen at Marvel, too.
I'm sure, but you're never going to make progress like that.
So
just, it's so frustrating.
Honestly, if Wonder Woman doesn't work, abandon ship.
Yeah, I agree. Just stop.
You're going to sell Aquaman to us if you can't get Wonder Woman to work? Like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So Lego Movie looks great. Wonder Woman is questionable, rightfully so. And I guess that'll do it for the news this week. We will be right back after the back after the break with a review of Marvel's Doctor Strange.
There'll be another co-host after the break.
No, there won't.
Fight like your life depended on it!
Because one day, it may.
That was a piece of one of the magically driven set pieces in Doctor Strange, the 12th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which opened in theaters this past Friday. You know, a lot of people have been asking the question this week, does Marvel have a familiarity problem? I think it depends on what you mean by that. Do a lot of the Marvel movies follow the same basic story structure? Yes, they do, and Doctor Strange is no different. Do a lot of the Marvel movies feature a hotshot protagonist who eventually is humbled and has a life-changing, altering thing for a world-saving event? Yes, they do, and again, Doctor Strange fits the bill. All of those things can be said about Doctor Strange, so then why am I about to give it a positive review? I have two main reasons. First, familiarity isn't always a bad thing, especially when the structure is as sound as something like Iron Man. Anyway, seeing that those beats play out in a different context doesn't necessarily bother me in the moment, as enough is being changed to not be a complete rehash. These changes come from one of Marvel's greatest strengths, which is the distinct style of each and every one of their films. Each director that they hire brings something new to the table, and Scott Derrickson's work on Doctor Strange is so trippy and visually creative that you can't help but be immensely entertained by Marvel's introduction to magic. As in the comics, the story follows Dr. Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, a surgeon with Tony Stark levels of brilliance and arrogance who recklessly drives himself into a car accident and loses a lot of the nerve endings in his hands. With this career over and little purpose left in his life, Strange takes a chance on a tip he learns of and travels to Kathmandu, Nepal, in search of the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton. As the Sorcerer Supreme in a legion of mystical protectors of Earth, the Ancient One and her right-hand man, Baron Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, reluctantly agrees to train Strange. In the art of the unknown, it takes Strange no time to develop the basics, soon tapping into more advanced magic, and with it, a dangerous threat being summoned by a dark sorcerer known as Caecilius. It does get a little busy at time, and I wish there was just more behind the cool visuals than it was substantial and surprising, so ultimately Doctor Strange is a lesser Marvel film for me. However,
Where it ranks on that scale low, it's still one of the best blockbusters in a year, desperately needing good ones. It moves quickly, doesn't bother itself too much with the logistics of its magical world, and is often pretty funny, and most importantly, makes you excited to see where this character could go next. Doctor Strange doesn't quite transport you to another realm, but it does, at the very least, serve as out-of-this-world entertainment.
Yeah, as far as Doctor Strange goes, I really do think it was one of the better Marvel movies out there. Not quite like top 5 for me, but as far as origin stories go, I thought it was really, really good.
See, I think as far as how we rate Marvel, it's a little bit different because it's going to be like, as we get to our ratings later, a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about like how we scale the Marvel movies, and I think they're fun blockbusters, you know, that they have good action in it, good entertainment value, and I think this one provides all that, but the good ones provide a little bit more, and I felt like this was retreading a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, I know it has similar factors to Ant-Man and Iron Man, you know, because origin stories and whatnot, but I feel like its creativity and uniqueness and the details in it kind of differentiated a little bit, and I think it all really worked, and that's why it kind of like gets to scale up for me a little bit.
I think it's one of those movies where I'd be happier more when I see the sequel because I think they can do a lot more with the premise.
Oh, yeah.
But right now they have to set it up in a very typical way. Cumberbatch is doing his weird American accent, you know, and he's doing all this different stuff.
I thought Cumberbatch was really good. I think Tilda Swinton does steal the show a little bit.
Yeah.
But as far as like the Doctor Strange universe goes, they have so many possibilities. If they really wanted, they could just create anything and just be like, here's what we're doing now. Like their possibilities are like almost limitless with what they can do.
Very new element being added to the Marvel universe, and it's done in a pretty interesting way. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo that's getting thrown along, but you never get thrown off. You never get like too confused or anything like that. Derrickson takes you along the ride correctly in a good way.
Yeah, and I thought he was a really interesting choice at first because he directed the horror movie Sinister, for those who don't know. So I thought he's a really interesting choice, but I thought he handled it really well. The action scenes were really good. The visuals were really good. You really should see this on a really solid movie theater screen. Yeah. So I liked how he handled it. I thought Cumberbatch was good, as he always is. Casting and acting overall was really good. And I thought it was just, I agree it is like very much an origin story, but I feel like they did enough to make it much different than Iron Man or Ant-Man. Like similar formula, but details were different.
So I think we should get our ratings up and our final thoughts here. And I think we're talking about like, I was talking about the weak villain. I think they waste Matt Mikkelsen a little bit here. I was a little disappointed in that.
A little. I think he's better than some, like Thor 2's villain, Malekith, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mads Mikkelsen is...
hot garbage, yeah.
Yeah. I think Mads Mikkelsen is better than the typical Marvel villain, but still not as good as he could have been. Not him himself, just the villain as a whole.
Right.
Not as great as it could have been. But as far as ratings go, I gave an 8 out of 10, which is high for me.
And I gave it an 8 out of 10, which is low for me as far as Marvel movies go.
We're a little different.
The scales are always different. We don't agree here, really, per se, but the numbers say that we do.
The numbers look like we do, but like a typical Marvel movie for me is like 7, 7.5. Like Ant-Man, Age of Ultron, both 7.5. This was an 8, and for Andrew, it's a little different.
Yeah,
so.
And I would say that. And I would say stick around for the two stingers. I think they're both valuable in different ways. I think they're both interesting in how they're going to set up the Marvel Universe. Anyway, that'll do it for our review of Doctor Strange. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk a little bit more Marvel. What makes them so valuable, and the titans of the entertainment industry. Who are the people involved? Stick with us.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
In the middle seats, we just finished up talking about Doctor Strange, which means we're chalk deep into Phase 3 of the Marvel Universe.
Jake, do you feel different?
A little bit. It's almost like Doctor Strange kind of messed us up or something.
Anyway, it's crazy to think that we're here now, so we've been wondering, who are the people most responsible for the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe throughout all of these years?
So here, in our third segment, we're going to take a look at some of the more important people that have made the MCU a reality. This is Marvel's Most Wanted.
Let's do it. Anyway, I know we said we were going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the studio makes some damn compelling TV shows as well. The partnership they made with Netflix has allowed some of the more adult properties to exist in TV mature content with blood, sex, and drugs, all big part of shows like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. It all started with the premiere of Daredevil in April 2015, and showrunner / Cabin in the Woods director Drew Goddard seems to be the primary party responsible in a smooth transition over to the small screen. These shows somehow believably exist in the overall universe, but are their own gritty, dark things as well.
Ever hear the phrase Marvel can't fail? It started circling around 2014 when Captain America: The Winter Soldier was arguably more well-received than its predecessor, and of course, The second most popular Marvel team introduced themselves as Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians is one of those question marks for Marvel fans and executives alike. But with its critical acclaim, box office numbers, and overwhelming amount of new fans, Guardians cemented the idea that Marvel can do no wrong. But who do we have to thank for that? Well, sure, we earned to adore all 5 of those memorable main characters, but the man behind the movie is who gave it the fun atmosphere fans grew to know and love, and that man is James Gunn. Gunn was himself a big question mark among fans, and proved his worth and his importance to the Marvel Universe when he gave us one of the most universally loved Marvel movies to date and showed the likes of Suicide Squad that bringing such life into fun characters while also giving a creative and thrilling story is not as easy as it looks.
You don't get an opinion. What percentage? I don't know. 12%. 12%? That's a fake laugh. It's real!
I talked earlier in my Doctor Strange review how Marvel may have a villain problem, as a lot of their movies come and go with so much focus on the heroes that the villain doesn't seem to get a lot of time to shine. Here's one big exception to that rule, and that is Tom Hiddleston as Thor's brother Loki. Ever since we were introduced to the character in the original Thor in 2011, Hiddleston was able to imbue this misunderstood god of mischief with ounces of sympathy as he realizes that he's never going to be rightfully king due to his illegitimacy as Odin's son. That shot of Maury Povich in the arm allowed the character to just let loose. He's deceivingly manipulative, but clearly Hiddleston has embraced those qualities and is having a ball. Yet somehow, we are still sympathetic towards him, hoping he finds redemption somehow. After all, these heroes need an interesting foil. Hiddleston has graced the Avengers with one.
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly. Intimately, in every way he knows you fear. And then he'll wake just long enough to see his good work, and when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain, you mewling quim.
I feel like there's mystical beings messing with us in here. But anyway, there are a few characters that the Marvel Cinematic Universe just wouldn't be the same without. Chris Evans as Captain America is a good start, but cycling through a few actors before finding the right Hulk is super important before assembling the Avengers. That's why we love Mark Ruffalo. He not only encompasses the science nerd who's a little unsure of himself in a social setting, but also always fighting inner demons. Though I thought Edward Norton was fine before creative differences led to his replacement, Ruffalo got the character right just in time to star in the first Avengers blockbuster, nailing the Bruce Banner persona and making sure we got the proper Hulk to smash away armies and the occasional comedic relief for audiences to love and watch in awe.
I think in general, the Marvel superheroes all have their little nuances to them that make them difficult to portray as an actor. However, I think there are a few superheroes that could have been mangled and destroyed quite like Thor, the God of Thunder. His Shakespearean bravado could have been really silly and unconvincing in the wrong hands. Plus, his film was the first stretch into the cosmic that the Marvel Universe introduced us to. Luckily, Chris Hemsworth has his charm, physicality, and the acting chops to pull off everything that Thor represents as a character. The success of Kenneth Branagh's film was a key turning point in the MCU following the relative mediocrity of Iron Man 2, and Hemsworth played a mighty hand in that.
This next pick has proved important as of recently, but will continue to be even more important for the movies to come. The Russo brothers proved themselves as not only action directors, but as intense storytellers too. When they gave us the great Captain America Winter Soldier and its sequel Captain America Civil War, each had its worries and challenges, but the Russo brothers handled each in style, giving us some of the best action scenes Marvel has ever produced, and even giving us a proper Spider-Man, with their next project being the next Avengers movie, titled Avengers Infinity Wars. We look to them to keep up the good work, and the Russo brothers we trust.
Hey buddy, I think you lost this! Those wings carbon fiber?
Is this stuff coming out of you?
Guys, look, I'd love to keep this up, but I've only got one job here today, and I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so I'm really sorry.
So awesome. Anyway, we've been trained to expect a lot of darkness in our superhero movies in the 21st century, so personalities like Joss Whedon are really important in bringing some levity to the proceedings. Whedon's important in the first 2 phases of Marvel's plans cannot be understated. His signature whip-smart dialogue in TV shows like Firefly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Dollhouse turned out to be perfect stylistic fits to the characters of the MCU. His work helped expand Marvel's appeal to all generations. There's a balance of stakes and humor in these films that make them the perfect popcorn fare. The Avengers isn't a massive success without Whedon's contributions, and Marvel doesn't get past Phase 1 without him.
So as we go down or up the list of important figures, we really need to go back to the beginning. It all started in 2008 we got Robert Downey Jr. returning to action and kicking off the ever-expanding Marvel Universe with the original Iron Man. Iron Man quickly became a fan favorite with Downey as Marvel's poster boy, but who's responsible for the action? Creativity and universe starter? Director Jon Favreau not only did he helm the film, he was also an executive producer on all 3 Iron Man films, as well as both Avengers movies. He even brought his charm on screen when he acted as one Happy Hogan, one of Tony Stark's bodyguards in the films. And if you love the Avengers, and specifically Iron Man, then you probably love Jon Favreau, who will continue his producing credits for the future Avengers movies as well.
Can you imagine being Robert Downey Jr. over the past 8 years? The highs and lows that this man has faced have overcome have nothing short of extraordinary. After being basically blacklisted throughout Hollywood for his chronic drug problem, Downey found the role of Tony Stark and Iron Man as much as Marvel found him. Ever since then, anytime we see Downey Jr., we see Tony Stark. His effortless on-screen ability and off-screen personality are so synonymous that audiences ate it up in 2008 and promised to flock back to the theaters to see anything that Iron Man was involved in. Not only is he consistently one of the top-grossing actors of all time, but he's the headliner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and bless him for it. Sounds like a clip.
Sound like a grandma.
Clip. Punch you right in the ovaries.
So who's the man with the plan? The master of Marvel, the head honcho, the man behind the curtain who we aren't supposed to pay attention to. A man by the name of Kevin Feige, who only reveals himself to promote upcoming films, and that's about it. Feige is the president over at Marvel Studios and basically keeps the cinematic universe intact. DC Universe basically looks at him like Jennifer Aniston looks at it, like Angelina Jolie. Arguably one of the most successful producers in Hollywood history, due to the fact that every movie in Marvel Cinematic Universe has made more money than it put out, been fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and has overall been liked and well received by fans and critics alike. He prefers to stay out of the spotlight and let others do the talking, but he should absolutely have your attention since you've undoubtedly given him a large sum of your money and in return basically gotten a lifetime supply of entertainment. Kevin Feige, thank you for being you.
So I think it's very valuable to talk about some of the people that we left off of this list.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is like, there's a lot of people to thank for this.
Chris Pratt's a big one.
Chris Pratt's a big one, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
But they're all part of the mold of the 10 that we picked. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Hemsworth is a success like Evans was a success, and Pratt is a big
Right.
breakout star like Downey Jr. was a big breakout star. The 10 that we picked was representative of all the good things that Marvel do.
Yeah, and as you know, obviously they do pretty much everything good. Like maybe an exception here and there, but we picked those 10 mainly because we feel like they're the strongest and the most important, and without them, we really wouldn't be where we are today. But I think some honorable mentions, like you said, Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man did a really good job.
Peyton Reed for coming in and stepping in. Talking about replacements with Mark Ruffalo, him replacing Edgar Wright in Ant-Man and still keeping that style.
Tough.
That's a tough job
really
to do.
tough. Edgar Wright is so unique as a writer and director. It's not easy to mimic
And
that.
also Don Cheadle coming in and taking over for Terrence Howard after Iron Man.
Yeah, I forgot about
Paltrow
that.
played a big role early on. There's just so many people.
Even
we
Scarlett
can name.
Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, we forgot. As Black Widow. Another huge presence.
The series is with now, like the universe is not without missteps. That's
No,
a big
definitely
thing.
not. You know, they have some issues, typically in their villains. Like Tom Hiddleston's not an issue. He's great, but like I said, in Thor 2, Malekith was not great. You know, their villains kind of feel old or unoriginal. They just don't have a whole lot to do sometimes. So there's issues there that they could be working on, but other than that, they're just success after
And
success.
it's a difference between if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or try something new and original. I'm more tempted to lean towards if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because they're still making entertaining blockbusters.
They are kind of in the middle because like their formula is a bit, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, like Iron Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, like we said. But they give each their own uniqueness and creativity and details where they lean in the originality department. So they're kind of in a happy medium, which is clearly working for them.
Yeah, and it's working for them, and hopefully we'll get more movies from them. That'll do it. We'll say Shambhala to this episode of The Middle Seats. Next time we'll be talking about either Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them or Moana. Either one.
I'm Jay Kensler.
I'm Andrew Auger. Keep that seat warm, everyone. Hopefully not from the nuclear apocalypse. Hopefully just to sit on it again very soon.
Yeah, something like that. And hopefully no magic will be messing with us again.
Yeah.